Hey socialites, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Ariell. I do mainly beauty videos, fragrance, and lifestyle. So if you like watching those kind of videos, I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button and come join the family. So today's video is going to be my September hits and misses. There are quite a few, so reserve this video if you need to pass some time. Let's jump right into it. First up is going to be the new Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation. Unfortunately, it was a miss for me. It's one of those full coverage matte foundations which aren't necessarily my favorite, even though I have a couple that I really like. More than anything, it may just be the shade match that I had, which was cinnamon, and it's the closest shade that they make to my skin tone. It just sort of made me look like I had a mask on. In certain lighting it would look a bit too warm, and then in certain lighting it would look a little olivey, almost like it was just like foundation here and then nothing here. Even if I lightly blended on my neck, it just wasn't working that much for me. On camera, I think it looks excellent. But for me to love a foundation, it has to look just as great in natural sunlight. So for that reason, it was a miss for me. Along with the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation, they did also launch a primer, the Easy Blur Primer. Primer's similar to it. It did what it was supposed to do. Moving on to the Makeup by Mario setting powder. This powder just came out. Now originally I got the powder in one of those like a warm honey shade, and it looked kind of dark. It just sort of darkened me. Some of the socialites said that it looked great on me, but it was a little bit out of my comfort zone. I would like something just slightly brighter. For me, it looked like it sort of darkened my complexion. So I exchanged it for the shade 3 Neutral Peach. So I exchanged it for the shade 3 Neutral Peach. So this is the shade. It works a lot better for me. It looks natural. It's a good powder. When I tried it at first with the combination of products I used, it just looked super dry. And I'm going to tell you guys why in a second, but it looks super dry and dark. So now that I exchanged it and use it with different concealers, I like this. It's a good powder. So moving on to the new MAC concealer. So they just launched the MAC Studio Radiance 24-hour concealer, you guys. I don't think I've ever disliked a concealer as much as I dislike this one. And initially, similar to the Makeup by Mario powder, I thought it was the shade. I got NC45, and I was thinking, because I usually use concealers for highlighting purposes in a little bit lighter of a shade than this, it may be because the shade sort of looked darker than what I was used to. But it wasn't the shade, you guys. It emphasizes every bit of texture that I never ever see with any other concealer. And it sort of looks luminous under eye, and it's like, you know what I came to the conclusion with this one is this concealer is probably something that you use for the face and not for highlighting purposes. That's the only way that I would probably like this. So I wouldn't use this again like under eye or for any type of highlighting purposes, because it just emphasizes anything that may be under there, and it's radiant, so it's sort of that shine. Just not my cup of tea. So I tried out the Haus Labs felt tip liner several times this month, and I really like it. It's a skinny felt tip, really black. Y'all, it's smooth and juicy for me. Some of the socialites said, I think 1 or 2 socialites said that they didn't like it, but I've used it on its own. I've used it on top of eyeshadows, because you know the telltale with some of these felt tips is using it on top of a powder. Does it skip? For me, it doesn't skip. It's really smooth. So I love it. Comment down below if you've tried it. What are your thoughts? So next is a product that actually should have gone on last month's fave, but I forgot about it, and it's the new Real Techniques Fingertip Technology Sponge, you guys. So I just washed it and it's in the kitchen, so I'll pop up a picture Love the sponge. It works almost just like if you're blending in a product with your fingers. And sometimes, depending on what the product is, I prefer to blend it with my fingers sometimes. It just looks smooth and natural. Your hands are always going to give you a great application, even if you prefer to use a brush. It mimics the fingers really nicely. And when I washed it, you can clean it a lot easier than you would even clean a regular sponge, you guys, because it's sort of, the texture is unique on the tip of it. Not really like plastic. It's sort of like this plastic / paper hybrid that can get wet. It's just unique. You would have to sort of feel it to get what I'm talking about. Let me know if you've tried that yet, by the way. But easiest 1, 2, 3 to rinse right off. I just used like my Zote soap and ran it over the soap a little bit, ran a little water over it, and it just rinsed out really clean. So I love that. It did come with 2 brushes because I got it in a set. You can get it separately or with the set. It came with the 2 brushes. The 2 brushes are really good too. A little teeny bit on the stiff, firm side, but some of you guys, it may be your preference. I would prefer it to be just a tiny bit softer, just a little bit, not a whole lot. So those aren't like my favorites. I'm going to still continue to use them because I feel like once I wash them a few times, they'll be like exactly what I like. So that's my 2 cents on that. Moving on to Sephora Collection has launched a new sponge. We're on tools right now. So this is what the sponge looks like. It has a really sharp tip. The back side of it is flat. I love this. The quality is so good, and it's $12. So when the sale comes, you'll be able to get 30% off of Sephora Collection. So I'll probably get a couple more during the sale, but this is really good. It's soft, but it's firm enough to give you a really great application. For my taste and what I like in a tool, I like the size that I'm able to get in here a little better. If you have more ground to cover on your face, a rounder or a bigger face, you may like a sponge that's a little bit, larger than this. But for me, I really like it. I actually like this better than the original Beauty Blender, like the Beauty Blender brand of blenders. The texture is a little bit better in my opinion. So this one's great. I would recommend that you guys pick a couple of them up during the Sephora sale. So I was walking through Walmart, looking down the beauty aisle like I always do in any store I go in, and I found this brush that just says buffing brush. Buffing foundation brush. That's all it says. This is what it looks like. It sort of contours in on the sides slightly. It's a little firm, slightly fluffy. The density of this is absolutely perfect for what I like in a brush. It applies flawlessly. This is excellent. I love this. My only thing is I wish it was a little bigger. So for foundation brushes, I prefer if it was like a little bigger like this, even, same shape as this, but just a little bit bigger. But nonetheless, I'm able to work with it, and this is really good. Now this I'm not even sure what the brand is, you guys. I'll have to leave the link in the description box because even on the outer packaging, it said buffing foundation brush. I really didn't see a brand. Now they had another one, same look to it with the same color and everything, same barrel, same brushes that are the duo fiber, but in an eyeshadow blending brush, and I think it's dirty right now. Now I got that one, and I think it's called the blender. I'm not sure. Check the description box, you guys, because I'm gonna look it up what it's called. But that one's kind of flimsy. The eyeshadow blending brush is kind of flimsy. It gives cheap, but this foundation brush, I highly recommend it. It's really good. So whoever this brand is, hopefully they'll make like a bigger size one, but this one, I enjoyed it. So moving on to smell goods. This is something else that should have gone on last month's hits and misses, but I forgot to add it to it. And this was one that I wore a lot in August, y'all. This is the Fendi Sempre Mio fragrance. Smells amazing. This smells so good. It's a sweet woodsy scent that has a presence to it. It's just beautiful. It's very warm. It's very comforting. Smells elevated and different than anything I have in my collection. I love the packaging. It's so nice. I do have a full review up of this if you want to click on that link and check it out, but it's gorgeous, and this is something that I'll probably be getting a lot of wear out of in fall and winter. And the next fragrance I want to talk about, I actually got a travel size and I cannot find it, and it's one of Seven Virtue's latest fragrances, which is called Candied Lychee or Lychee. How do y'all say it? Do you say lychee the first way or lychee the second way? Because I don't know, but it smells nice. If you like fruity, floral, upbeat, girly fragrances, you would like it. If you like Kayali, those Kayali rock candy sugar, and Kayali, those sweet girly fragrances of Kayali's, that fits right into there. It might as well be one of those. Smells just like those, matter of fact. So if you have those, I don't think you even need this. But for me, it's okay. It's cute. The next couple that I'm going to talk about is going to be very brief because I touched on these three in the last video about what I wore in September. So Glossier You body cream. It's okay to me. I won't be repurchasing it. Mr. loves it on me. For me, it just smells like pepper. It just smells like straight up pepper to me. Mr. says it smells amazing on me. And that's that. It's kind of moisturizing at first. For me, the moisture kind of goes away after a few hours. So it's okay. And then Black Opium Le Parfum. It was on sale for 50% off during the Ulta sale. And this one's a really nice vanilla. But I had it on walking, and the more the wind hit me, I smelled the original DNA in this, and I'm not sure what it is in it, but it just kind of, I don't know, when I smelled it out there like that, it just was like, I don't know how I feel about it. So I'll update you guys on this one. It's not like a love, but the Fenty Skin Butter Drop, I love it. This will definitely be a repurchase. I've already used half of it. It leaves a beautiful shine on the skin. It's highly moisturizing, and it's much thinner than the butter drop that we're used to. It's really good. It's sweet. The smell might not be for everybody. It's sort of a little bit tropical, a little bit perfumey. It's nice to me, but that shine and the moisture, love it. So I'll definitely repurchase this. So moving on to some accessories, you guys. So you know that company that I'm an ambassador for, the company called Link and Live. Well, oh, and by the way, Link and Live is changing their name to Jasper Cal Watches and Jewelry. So be on the lookout for that if you're into accessories like chic, upscale accessories. They're now going to be Jasper Cal jewelry and accessories. But there's a couple items I wanted to talk about, you guys, because I love them. So first off is this watch. It's a mixed metal like watch. It's such quality. You see the background in the face is like pearlescent, but just something about that silver and gold together. I love this. I wore it more than any watch this month. Love, and it goes with everything. Timeless timepiece. And also from the same company, these mixed metals. I've just been into the mixed metals, and sometimes I even mix metals myself. Like if I'll do like a little thin silver necklace, I'll put another little thin gold necklace, or bracelets, I'll mix them together. But these earrings, oop, I dropped the back off of it. Hold on. I don't want to lose that. These earrings, are they not the cutest? So, and they go perfect with the watch, or if you mix the metals yourself, like, you know, how I do sometimes, but they are just so chic. Love these. And so I went out this month and finally got to wear my little Fendi stuff when I did the Fendi haul. And so the shoes, the heels, I'll pop a picture right there. They're cute. They're just, it's like a neutral shoe. The heel is not too tall or too skinny. But what I love about them the most, not only is it a cute shoe, but the comfort. I don't think any of my like high-end designer shoes are comfortable, and these feel so good. You could just walk around in them. Not only is the sole of the shoe have cushion and comfort, the thick strap that goes around the toe area has cushion in it as well. I have never seen that before, where, you know, like a strap around the toe, no matter how thick or thin the strap is, with cushion in it. So as you walk, it's very cushiony. You guys, I feel like every designer needs to take notes from that, because I love it. I already know that's probably going to be like my most worn designer shoe, because if any of you guys have like red bottoms, no matter if it's the closed in pumps or the open toes, there's no cushion. There's no cushion in your YSLs. There's no cushion in your Tom Fords. You know what I mean? So it's like, I really appreciate that. I wish that other brands would take notes, because it just made it such a treat to walk in, and they're cute. So I did want to mention 2 restaurants that I got to visit this month. One's a restaurant called Lombardi that's in the Uptown Park area, if you're familiar with Houston, and it's like an upscale sort of Italian-ish restaurant. If you saw the Dior video I did this month, that was the restaurant we went to at the end of the video, and their food is excellent. The head chef is actually a chef that was a private chef for a family in New York for 10 years, and his brother was the head chef there, and so now he's the head chef there, and the food was so good. I got a pasta dish that was really good, and they didn't really have any vegan options on the menu. Mister's a vegan eater, so when we asked the waiter, you know, what options do you have for him, he said, well, what do you feel like eating today? I was like, what? What? So the chef was literally gonna make him whatever he wanted to eat, you know what I mean? But he ended up saying, just make me whatever you want. And the pasta dish that they made him was so good, y'all. So good that I would have eaten it, you know what I mean? Really, really good. So the service was great. The drinks were great. The ambiance was really nice. It felt like you weren't even in Houston, you know, and I like going places like that, especially if you're somebody with children, or if you have a career where you can't travel like you really want to, or as often as you want to because of schedules or whatever the reason may be. You know, a good option is to go places that have that vibe, that have that ambiance to make you feel like you're somewhere else. And so that's what we got from Lombardi. Highly recommend it. So if you're in the Houston area, check it out, come back, let me know what you think. And another restaurant that I went to, we really didn't get to film this one because I woke up so late, but I may have got a little video of the food we ate, and it was a Californian restaurant. I never even heard of a Californian restaurant. Like, who knew California had their own food? So it was called, let me get it right, Graffiti Raw. And so they had these different California inspired recipes. I got this dish that was like, y'all, I love oysters Rockefeller, and they had something similar to it that was so good. I got like this loaded rice type dish that was really good. The food that Mister got, he loved it. It's another restaurant that just gives you a whole different vibe. When you walk in there, you're like, where am I at? It was a little retro. It was a little bit like you stepped into a restaurant in LA or Miami back in like the 80s. It was given like Miami Vice vibes, if that makes any sense. Even the manager that worked there had like the, I don't know, was it a mullet or like the slicked back hair that was sort of long but not really, like how they wore back in like the Miami Vice days. It was cool. So that's another one that I recommend, and that's it for today's video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Comment down below, let me know what are some of those things that you tried this month that you love, whether it be beauty or fragrance or even restaurant or a dish you made at home. So if you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to come join the family by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. 'Cause I've been where you are. You're too scared to show me love.
Cause too fresh with the scars.